Fraser & Neave Holdings, or FNN, has proposed to privatise its 27.66% owned associate Cocoaland Holdings by buying the remaining Cocoaland shares at RM1.50 each. The move will help the group expand into other packaged food segments and grow the buyer's overseas markets. The deal shall be settled via a cash consideration of RM488.15 million, based on 325.43 million Cocoaland shares that are not owned by FNN and represent 72.34% of the share capital of Cocoaland. The proposed privatisation will be funded by bank borrowings. The deal represents a price-to-book ratio of 2.77 times based on Cocoaland's audited consolidated net assets attributable to equity holders of RM243.32 million, or 54 cents per Cocoaland share as at December 31st, 2021. It also represents an enterprise value to earnings before interest, taxation, depreciation and amortization, or EBITDA ratio of 18.47 times and 17.74 times based on Cocoaland's audited consolidated adjusted EBITDA of RM32.8 million and RM33.53 million for FY20 and FY21 respectively. The board of Cocoaland is to revert to FNN by 5 p.m. on June 17th. FNN does not intend to maintain Cocoaland's listing status. The proposed exercise is expected to be completed in the fourth quarter of this year. Shares of Cocoaland and FNN were suspended today. Cocoaland last traded at RM1.28 for a market value of RM586 million, while FNN closed at RM20, valuing it at RM7.34 billion. Shell Malaysia Trading is acquiring a 50% stake in Pixelbyte, the operator of ParkEasy, a mobile app that enables users to reserve parking lots and electric vehicle charging slots. The deal will be Shell's first in a Malaysian tech startup and gives it an immediate path to an established parking and e-mobility platform in the Southeast Asian region. It did not specify how much it is paying for the 50% stake. Pixelbyte is an investee of Ministry of Finance-owned venture capitalist Kumpulan Modal Perdana. Shell Malaysia says the proposed acquisition is expected to be completed in the third quarter of 2022, after which ParkEasy will continue to operate under its existing management and name. Pixelbyte was co-founded by its Chief Executive Officer Warren Chan, Eric Tan and Winnie Ma in 2014. Over the last 3 years, ParkEasy has grown its business from a parking reservation app to include other offerings, such as sales of its proprietary smart parking solutions and EV charging bay management systems. According to Shell Malaysia's statement, ParkEasy has managed over 150,000 car park reservations to date. All new highway projects, including 3 in the Klang Valley, will not get any allocations from Putrajaya, Bernama reports. Citing Senior Works Minister Datuk Sri Fadila Yusof, the State Newswire said the costs of these projects and any risks involved would have to be fully borne by the concessionaires. Fadila was quoted as saying that the same applies to land acquisition cost for highway construction. Previously, he said, the costs were partly borne by the government. Now, the minister said there are no more soft loans and all will have to be shouldered by the concession companies interested in building the highways. Last month, Utusan Malaysia reported that the government had granted approval in principle to the Petaling Jaya Traffic Dispersal Elevated Highway or PJD link, the Bangi Putrajaya Expressway BPE and the Kuala Lumpur Northern Dispersal Expressway KL node. Quoting Fadila, the report said these new highways would help ease traffic congestion in the Klang Valley. The Health Ministry says there is no significant disruption in the supply of medicine, with the active ingredient of paracetamol for fever and mild pains, vitamin C and cough and cold medicine in the market, Bernama reports. Citing the ministry's Senior Director of Pharmaceutical Services, Nurhaliza A. Halim, the report said there are available alternatives from various brands for most of these products. Yesterday, health news website Code Blue reported of major shortages of various prescription and over-the-counter medications in Malaysia, including syrups for children and treatments for chronic conditions. Nurhaliza confirmed today there was a sharp increase in the demand for several medicines, such as products with the active ingredients of paracetamol for fever and mild pains, vitamin C, as well as cough and cold medicine for children. She said pharmaceutical manufacturers have increased their production capacity to meet the high demand, and added that the ministry is seeking feedback from the industry on the actual status of the supply of medicines in Malaysia. CelcomAxiata has announced the appointment of Tan Sri Dr. Halim Shafee as its interim chairman effective yesterday. The appointment follows the departure of Datuk Izzaddin Idris from Axiata Group as its president and group CEO on Tuesday. He resigned as the chairman of Celcom on the same day. Halim was appointed as an independent non-executive director of Axiata on November 1st, 2020, and has served in many government agencies, including the Ministry of Education, Malaysian Administrative Modernisation and Management Planning Unit (MAMPU), and the National Institute of Public Administration or INTAN. Additionally, he was also the Ministry of Energy, Water and Communications Secretary General in 2000 and the chairman of the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission (MCMC) from 2006 to 2009, before taking up position as the chairman of Telekom Malaysia from 2009 to 2015. He also spent another 3 years with the MCMC from 2015 to 2018 as its chairman. Halim also served as the chairman of Smart Axiata.